my wife has adapted so well. And you know the way it works, where when these ladies, when they come in to join their spouse here in Finland, you know, they go through this integration process where
Yeah.
they go to learn the language and all that. So they enjoy that infrastructure from the Finnish government very easily. You know, initially when she came, it was like, okay, after some time we might move somewhere else, and but now she doesn't want to go anywhere else. So that tells you how much she loves it here, and she doesn't even think anywhere else in Europe or America, for that matter, is
Me
even
too.
is anything compared to Finland. Seriously. And I tell people, they think I'm joking, but I am not joking. God lives in Finland.
Yes, and he will reign over this country.
God lives in Finland.
Yes.
He goes to other places to visit his children that are living there, right? But this is where he lives. This is his
Let the
abode.
people in the other places not see this video.
They should. They should. They should.
You were here at 25 years old. You didn't marry a Finnish woman. You married a Nigerian. So were you betrothed, engaged in Nigeria before you came here, or how did that happen?
Yes, but not officially.
Your wife will be watching this.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
mind your answer so that you can eat.
You said, was I betrothed?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. The answer is yes, but not official.
Okay, yeah.
And the reason is, ourselves and I, we knew what. At least I knew what I wanted. And for me, is hey, just remain where you are. I'm coming back for you.
Nigerian.
Right. Just remain where you are. I'm coming back for you.
Yeah.
So when the time was right, when everything was okay, I felt like I was ready. So there was, you know, so betrothed could mean that, okay, we've spoken with ourselves and then we've engaged. Our parents are aware. No, that was not the case.
Promised, you know, like
Yeah, that was not the case.
Oh,
That was not
okay.
the case. Yeah. But then I knew that I was coming back for this person. Yeah. And she knew too. But then we didn't say it, we didn't spell it out officially. But I knew this was mine and I was coming back for it. You
Okay,
know?
but you knew, yes, that you were going back for somebody. But then you were here. Now you've come to another foreign country. Did you not fancy any foreign? Because I'm sure a lot of people, a lot of black people then would have been getting married to Finnish women. You know, why didn't you? Why did you not change course?
Firstly, when I came to Finland, I didn't come, I was born again. I am born again.
Yes.
Right? I was born again, I'm still born again. I came with a purpose. I knew what God was bringing me to do here.
Yeah.
Right? So my path was defined. Right?
Yeah.
I knew what I was going to do. I knew what I'm not allowed to do.
But marrying a Finnish woman would not make you not born again, just saying.
It never got to that part where I thought about it.
Okay.
It never got about. I know that if I was going to get whoever I'm going to get married to would be a part of my vision, will believe in me, will believe in what God has assigned me to do.
Yeah.
Right? And I knew very well that the possibility of that with a Finn is very slim. I knew that for real. So it was never part of my plan. Never.
Yeah.
You know, and I had older siblings, like I said, that had been through that part before I came, and I knew what their experiences were like. You know, I had friends too, people that came in same time like myself, you know, that rushed into that part and they rushed out as well. So from day one, I knew this wasn't meant for me. I knew it wasn't meant for me. You know, when you wake up in the middle of the night and you call your partner, we have to pray. You know, you won't have to persuade.
Yes, and explain
why.
That this is who God is to
Exactly.
us. You know, there's
Exactly.
some, oh my goodness, there are some conversations I've had and I'm like, we can't do this.
Exactly.
There's no talking with this person, you know. So
Yeah.
I get where you're
Exactly.
I get where you're coming from.
So from the onset, it was clear to me that no, this was, glory to the folks that are married to Finns that are doing very well.
Yeah.
Some are doing extremely well. So it's not all of them that have bad experiences, but it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. But just for me personally, I just knew this was not my path.
So at what point did you go back to Nigeria, get married, and bring your family into the country?
It was when I knew I was ready. Yeah.
And when was this?
This was in 20 it was in 2013 actually that, I called Madam and said, hey, you don't sit, it's about to go down. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she too was ready, and kudos to her. She made a lot of sacrifice to make that happen. So the parents already were in Europe. I had to go meet them where they are, showed myself to them. This is who I am.
Went to knock on the door.
I went to knock on the door. Ko. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, there was some kind of history with myself and the family. So my mother-in-law knew me so well. My wife's siblings, they knew me so well. So it wasn't like a stranger going to visit a stranger. No, so it was like going to a home that I'm already used to.
Yes. Okay, so how has your family adapted to life in Finland?
My children were born here, so they were born Finns, right? So my wife has adapted so well, and the way it works, where when these ladies, when they come in to join their spouse here in Finland, they go through this integration process where they go to learn the language and all that. So they enjoy that infrastructure from the Finnish government very easily. So my wife has adapted a lot. And initially when she came, it was like, okay, after some time we might move somewhere else, but now she doesn't want to go anywhere. She doesn't want to go anywhere else. So that tells you how much she loves it here, and she doesn't even think anywhere else in Europe or America, for that matter, is anything compared to Finland. Seriously. And I share her sentiments as well. I've lived in the UK, I've worked in the UK, I've been to other parts of Europe. Honestly, I'm not even thinking of anywhere else. Finland, I tell people, they think I'm joking, but I am not joking. God lives in Finland.
Yes, and he will reign over this country.
God lives in Finland.
Yes.
He goes to other places to visit his children that are living there, right? But this is where he lives. This is his abode.
Let the people in the other places not see this video.
They should.
Okay, so what are some of the ways that you and your family have stayed connected to your Nigerian roots while living here?
Firstly, we speak the same language religiously, spiritually. Right?
That is important.
Yeah. What I believe is what she believes. Right? And what we believe is what we are transferring to the kids.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. And I think that's just it. Just it. What we believe is a reflection of where we are coming from. Right? And how we were raised.
Yeah.
So, and that answers everything.
Okay. So let's move into your life as a musician. You have a YouTube cover.
Correct.
A cover on YouTube currently. Right. What inspired that?
Right. The cover is titled Fairest of 10,000.
Yeah.
What inspires it is a story of my life, basically. There is nothing that is assured, right, in life. And when I say assured now, there is nothing that assures you that you are going to be a perfect person. You will deal with people and you will mess things up from time to time, right? When you have people around you who are there flawlessly through the thick and thin, when you are good and when you are bad, when you are doing well, when you are not doing well, when you have people around you that loves you unconditionally, right? That's a blessing on its own. Now, my experiences have been such that I've invested emotions. I had invested things in people. Really, really mean a lot. And when I see people come back to just demonstrate their loyalty based on who they think I am and what I've been to them, that's really, really inspiring. For me, I've not been an angel 100%. There are times that I've messed up with people, and those people, in spite of my mess, they still demonstrate their love and commitment towards me and my family. Now, the only person that loves you unconditionally is Jesus. He's the one that doesn't think about the mess that you made yesterday. When he's dealing with you today, he never remembers what you did the previous day.
Yes.
His love for you is flawless. So I had a reflection on this. I had a deep reflection on this. And I just decided to make it into a song. Now, I could have written original lyrics. Yeah. But then I wanted something that everybody will be able to relate with.
Yes.
Right? It's already existing. And then I just wanted it to come from within. Let this be like a natural expression, to whoever is going to be listening. Like, this is genuine. No gimmicks, no auto-tune, no nothing else added. This is real, straight from the spirit. God is the only loyal ally.
Yes.
Anywhere in heaven and on earth, God is the only one.
So, when did your passion for music begin, and how would you say that it has evolved over the years?
My passion began for as long as I could remember, to be honest. I remember as a child, 4 or 5 years old, where there will be some elders, they will be seated and they will call me to be entertaining them. Right?
Young?
That's young, yeah. I'll be entertaining them, singing and dancing in front of them, and they'll be giving me money. Right? That's young.
Did you collect the money?
Of course I did. I did. I remember very vividly. I was really, really, really very young then. And there was once in a church, I was born in a white garment church. I was Christian in a white garment church.
Wow.
So we had this practice then when after the service, the children will run to the front of the priest, and the priest will just stretch his hands and start pronouncing blessings on the children. So on one of those occasions, it was an evening service, in the evening on a normal weekday, not on a Sunday. And then we were there. The priest was supposed to start praying for us, but instead he was just looking at us, with some smile on his face, was just admiring, looking at little children. And then he just said, okay, he has a request. And then he said, I know this song. If any one of you can sing this song, we'll give you a reward of 50 kobo. 50 kobo. Back in the days, yeah. 50 kobo. And who can sing this song? And nobody was responding. And I just said, yes, I can. Really. And then they dragged me up. I remember vividly, they placed me on the pulpit.
Yeah.
It was like a table. They placed me on it and they gave me a microphone. And I sang the song.
Wow.
In the presence of the whole congregation. And it was a massive jubilation. And that was the first time I actually did something in public in presence of a crowd. And at that time, I think I was just about 5. So the question was, where did the passion start from? So it came from beginning, from as long as I can remember. Right? And I started going to church. When I became a teenager, I was going to church, and I would sit in the auditorium and I would watch the choir. I had my choir master who was then we were calling him Nigerian Craig Franklin. He was this active, when he's ministering, when he's
can do it.
Yeah, when he was on the stage, he was somebody else. And I would just be in the congregation. I was admiring this man. Was admiring him so much. And I'll get back home and I'll be mimicking him. I don't want to sing. It's not the time to sing.
No, it's not time. But
but
that time is coming.
I wanted to sing some of the songs he would sing at the time.
Well, you can actually. You can sing now. Yeah.
And I'll be home and I'll be mimicking him, doing things like that. And at some point I had the opportunity to join the choir, and that was where the whole thing just took off from. So it has been there for as long as I can remember.
Okay, now that you mentioned choir, and I want to ask that, did you think that you would have maybe gone into secular music, or because you were born in a church, brought up in a church, was already in the church, that's why you are a gospel artist, or that's why you are a gospel musician?
I would say I didn't choose to be a gospel musician. I didn't choose to. Like the way I explained it now, if at the age of 5 I already sang in a church, and that was the trajectory, all through my teenage to even when I passed the teenage age bracket and all that. So it was just natural. It was just natural that this is what I'm going to become. So there was never a time where I considered
you thought about
exactly.
Okay.
There was a time when I admired these care guides.
like the care guides.
Care guides, yeah.
In the university.
Yes.
Oh.
Even before the
ones that
university.
do gyration.
Gyration, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Even before I got into the university, I really liked it. I was passionate about football growing up as well. And I go to watch football games, and then this supporters club, most of the members of the supporters club were care guides. You know, and there was where they sang those songs.
Their songs. Oh,
yeah, they sang those songs. You know, some of these there were some of these songs that we sing in church now. They were from care guides, from the care guides group. You know, there was a time I really admired them. I really wanted to be a part of them. But the truth is, when I watch football and I come back home, the next thing is church. You understand?
There's no space.
There was no space,
for that to linger.
Yeah, I didn't even have.
Yeah.
Joining the care guides group then was almost impossible, because you join them, you have to be traveling with them from places to places to do those performances, and I didn't have that luxury at the time, you know, where I would go out for days, you know, for some trip. I didn't have that luxury, so it was just not practical for me at the time. So the only thing that was practical was I knew that on Sunday I'll be in church, you know, and if I join the choir, I'll be singing with the choir, and then with time, the responsibilities, you know, I'll start getting responsibilities and opportunities to minister as a chorister. Yeah.
So do you think that, if you weren't born in church, because a lot of gospel artists, like you said, your life was, you know, it was evolving around church. But if you weren't born in church, do you think that you would have been a secular artist?
It's difficult to say, because I have this example. For instance, there was once I remember very vividly at that young age. I can't tell you exactly how old I was, but my grandma passed away before I turned 6. So this incident happened when my grandma was still very much alive. So I would be 4 to 5 or between 5 and 6 when this incident happened. There was this early morning service, 5 a.m. morning service. I woke my grandma up and I asked her to dress me up, that I needed to go to church at that age. And the church was like 10-15 minutes walk from the house, and it was a bush path. Now, who would let a 5 years old, you know, walk that path? My grandma was like, no, it's too dangerous. I disturbed the hell out of her. I dragged her until she just, like, whatever will happen should happen. She just dressed me up and I walked to church by myself. Now, a child that was that passionate at that age, you would know whatever he's doing, he was born to do it. You know, so if there was no church, right, I think this thing still would have found me anyways.
Yes.
It would have found me anyways. Yeah.
So how do you manage your passion for music and your life as an engineer?
I think my passion for the gospel, for the kingdom of God, it supersedes any other passion. Right? It supersedes anything else. Right? I won't give up my passion for God's kingdom, for music or for engineer, for software development or anything. I won't trade it.
Yeah.
Right? So, but of course, I'm not in church every day. Right? Ministry does not call me all the time, like every minute. And in this part of the world, ministry is not paying the bills. Right? You need to pay the bills. Right? So, but then it is basically submitting yourself to God. He would organize your life in such a way that you would have your profession, you would have your job, and you still would be able to serve Him the way He wants. Yeah. So now, my passion, my work for God's kingdom is not suffering at all, and my profession is not suffering at all. It is because God has made the grace sufficient in that regard. So I would just answer that question by saying, if you are in submission to God, He will make everything work perfectly for you.
Yeah, because I asked that question because when I first saw your video on YouTube first of then, I had seen that there were previously no other videos, and I have heard you sing. You know, you're an amazing singer. So I was thinking, why do you not have other videos? Why are there no other covers? Why don't you have your own songs? So I was thinking, so how are you balancing both, like your life as an engineer, your life as an artist? Like, tell us more about that.
I mean, you're not the first person asking me this question. There were friends who knew me during my university days in Nigeria, and some folks that um, that knows me here in Finland, and they were like, this is long overdue, right? But the truth is, you don't do it because people are requesting for it, right? You don't do it because you feel like it. You do it when the time is right. And the time is right because when the time is right, you will not beg anybody for any resource. You won't beg for money to pay the people that are working with you. You will not beg for money to pay for facilities to use for recording and shooting and all that. Everything will be readily available, right? And I mean, for every gospel music minister, there will be a time when the urge will come in your spirit. You know, your spirit will call on to spirit, deep will call on to deep, and you will be informed that your craft, your message needs to go beyond the walls of the church where you worship. That there are people out there that are waiting to hear you, that are waiting to be attracted to God's kingdom by the things you do. You know, so the urge came that it was about time that people outside the walls of the church started hearing about my message, about my commission, and what God wants me to do. And to be honest, before I came to Finland, I saw the vision. I knew why I was coming. Officially at the embassy, he's going to study. That's what the immigration knows. But between God and myself, I knew why he was bringing me here. And I felt the time was right. You know, the logistics and everything was available. You know, without stretching people, without overstretching yourself. And everything needed to make it happen was available. That's why. And yeah, there's still a lot of pots on the cooking gas.
Coming.
Yeah.
We are waiting. We can't wait.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about Aritech Consulting. We haven't mentioned that since we started. What is Aritech Consulting about?
Aritech Consulting was it was born out of the passion to give back. Right?
Yeah.
When I came to Finland, the best kind of job available was what we call lahihoitaja. Anybody doing the lahihoitaja job at the time was like a demigod. Right? They were the biggest men and women in town.
In English, what does that?
Lahihoitaja is this public nursing job where you look after old folks and all that. That was the biggest career job at the time, frankly.
You mean for foreigners or generally?
For foreign, among our folks.
Yes, among our folks. Okay.
Yeah, that was the biggest job at the time. And we had to settle for the menial jobs at the time to pay the bills and all that. Even for you to be considered for the lahihoitaja job then was really difficult, you know. So when I became a QA engineer, I had worked for a considerable amount of time. And people were hearing my stories on the kind of success that I was having at the time. And then, boom, COVID came. Boom, there was a lockdown. Everybody was home. And someone just suggested to me, like, people are home. Why don't you share this knowledge with people to see how you can help them build themselves? And I was reluctant about it because I didn't even know that I could do it. You know, so initially it was experimental. And what I started as an experimental exercise, you know, before I knew it, people started getting breakthroughs from it and all that. And I figured out that a lot of our folks on the streets, right, they would do a lot with this knowledge and these skills and this resource. And then that was how Aritech Consulting came alive. And by God's grace, it has done, it has helped a lot of people.